Good evening. I'm Carolyn Ravenna.
And I'm Nancy Ivy, and we have been privileged to be the advisors for the class of 2020. This class has been such a pleasure to work with, and they have handled the uncertainty and disappointments of the last few months with maturity and grace.
As an example of the thoughtfulness and selflessness of this class, we wanted people to know that they have taken the money they raised for their prom and donated it to the Vermont Foundation, which helps organizations dealing with the effects of COVID-19 pandemic. And now, we'd like to welcome you to the first ever virtual graduation ceremony from Rutland High School. On behalf of the faculty and administration, please join us in honoring the class of 2020, the class with vision.
Welcome everyone, and congratulations to the Rutland High School class of 2020. Ethan Korse, I always speak at your graduation ceremonies, 8th grade and now. You left this behind at the 8th grade graduation, so I'm going to leave this here for you now. Wow, what times we are in. This is not the way that I thought my last year at Rutland High School would end. First of all, Mr. Norman, Mr. Sampson, and I, we have a real struggle when we can't get a haircut on a regular basis. 2 months without a visit to the barber is maddening. I am absolutely certain that after a collective 109 years dedicated to serving Rutland High School, this is not the way that Mr. Peterson, Mr. Graves, Mr. Lauer, and Ms. Densmore thought their careers would finish. Plus, they missed 3 months' worth of Wednesday morning donuts from Mr. Carmoli. Horrible. In class of 2020, this is certainly not the way that we expected your time in high school to end. Here you were, cruising along, achieving in so many ways, and then you lost your last quarter at high school. That time you would have spent with your Raider family members. Those last days with friends and favorite teachers. You lost your last sports season, your time with clubs and activities, your last drama and music performances, no Keefe Gym, and events like the prom and project graduation, and even graduation itself. It all feels unfair. This is a real loss. Please know, class of 2020, you experienced a loss and our hearts go out to you. And yet, a recent meeting that I had with a group of our seniors woke me up from being disheartened about this. It helped me understand that the resilience and perseverance of youth is always present. We met on a video conference with Stephanie Schaefer, RHS class of 2014. I asked the seniors to tell Stephanie about the qualities of this class. We are a class with a vision, they said. We are a class with integrity, they said. When I asked them to describe to Stephanie some of the achievements of their 4 years here, to a person, they spoke about the fact that RHS gained national recognition as a Special Olympics unified school. Doesn't that say it all? I received an email recently from one of your classmates. It made my day. She thanked RHS for her 4 years, and she finished by saying, "Without Rutland High, I definitely would not be where I am today." So in speaking with seniors over these last 2 months, I never hear complaints about your situation. Some regrets, of course, but no whining. You've all been so positive about this. It reminds me of an NFL football player that I heard about last winter. His name is Khalif Raymond. He caught my attention because he made an incredible touchdown catch for the Tennessee Titans last year in the playoffs. A 45-yarder that he caught almost without looking, an over-the-shoulder basket catch. Then I found out he went to my alma mater, Holy Cross, not exactly a football powerhouse. So I read more about him and his journey. Khalif attended high school in Georgia. He broke his ankle senior year during football season, so he was not recruited by colleges. Instead, he sent out emails to small schools to generate interest about himself. He got an offer to Holy Cross, so he went there and he was successful. But as a senior, he wasn't drafted by the NFL. He persisted and eventually was signed as an undrafted free agent. But by the end of that summer, he was cut by the Broncos. However, he eventually re-signed 4 months later. So listen to how his career went over the next few years. He was waived by the Broncos, the Jets, the Giants, and the Titans 9 times in total. Then he was signed by those same 4 teams 10 times in total. After a 4-year journey of repeated obstacles and rejection, he found his place on the Titans in his most successful year so far, making a critical contribution at the biggest moment. That's really what this RHS class of 2020 is all about. We know that challenging circumstances in life will always occur. There's no escaping that. It's part of the human experience. But it's how a person or a group responds to challenging circumstances that determines how your story is written. Your class seems to know that. You have consistently demonstrated that when you work together as a group with integrity, you are able to overcome all obstacles. This pandemic is just another challenge that your group will beat. As you leave us behind, class of 2020, we will always remember how well you responded to the last portion of your senior year. We, the educators of the Rutland area schools, your parents, families, your whole community, we are incredibly proud of you. We thank you so much for the time that you shared with us, and we look forward to watching you go out and lead the world. Remember, even if you get waved 9 times, you just have to get signed 10 times in order to make the over-the-shoulder basket catch of life. And finally, Sean Olson said to me recently, "Dad, don't worry about your hair, just let it flow." So I pass on that wise advice to Mr. Norman and Mr. Sampson. Let it flow. I do want to take a moment to acknowledge and congratulate the Rutland High School class of 1970. They were supposed to join us for a graduation celebration tonight, but as the Monty Python comedy troupe of that time period used to say, nobody expects a Spanish Inquisition nor a global pandemic. So that we hope the class of 1970 will return to Rutland next year to celebrate with the class of 1971. And now allow me to introduce Miss Rosanna Hyde. She is the president of the class of 2020.
Good evening, everyone, and congratulations to the class of 2020. My name is Rosanna Hyde, and today I have the honor of introducing our first speaker, Maya Sobel. I met Maya years ago at the Rutland Intermediate School, and right away, her kind nature was evident. In middle and high school, I was scheduled into more classes with Maya, and had the honor of getting to know her more as a peer and as a friend. Now, I can speak to the fact that she's an incredibly hard worker in all that she does, and she keeps herself busy. As a dedicated cheerleader, she contributed to the Rutland High School team successes at the state, New England, and national levels. As a talented viola musician, she's performed in district music festivals and encourages others to pursue music as vice president of the Tri-M Honor Society. She's also contributed to the success at the state level for RHS's mock trial team and continues to demonstrate her remarkable public speaking skills. In the fall, Maya will attend the University of Vermont to major in biology. I have no doubt Maya's incredible work ethic and kindness will persist in and after college, and I can't wait to hear about all of her future successes. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Maya Sobel.
Hello friends, family, faculty, and fellow graduates. It is my honor to speak to you today. I wish that we could all be here together in person, but despite the circumstances, we should still be proud of ourselves for achieving this milestone. When I reflect on my time attending Rutland High School, I have memories with many of you, sitting in class, taking exams, going to club meetings, practices, rehearsals, attending concerts, and literally cheering you guys on during sporting events. It was during this time, when high school was actually high school, that we became the young adults who had the qualifications to go to college, enter the workforce, or join the military. It felt at times that we had to carefully balance so many different parts of ourselves in order to be considered for one of these possibilities. But what activities, responsibilities, or qualities are not best only for our senior year of high school, but for the rest of our lives? I believe that the answer lies in a simple characteristic stated in our school's mission statement. Rutland City Schools cultivates a passionate, diverse, and resilient community of critical thinkers who learn with purpose, create innovative and responsible solutions, and lead lives of integrity. Before reading the statement, I never heard a school use the word integrity unless it followed the word academic. Rutland holds the importance of personal character to the same level as scholastic honor. Rutland High School taught us to not only be a good person within the walls of its building, but outside of them as well. This served us when we represented our school in the community, and more importantly, when we stayed at home. From a young age, many of us have strived to reach some sort of measurable excellence. And while it is important to push ourselves to receive a good report card, trophy, or award, it is easy to forget the most valuable quality of moral character, having honorable principles, and acting consciously upon them. Rutland High School has helped allow us to become people who make room in their lives for having integrity. As I've mentioned, this is a philosophy that we practiced in the last few months after the coronavirus outbreak. We help those in our community who are vulnerable by staying home and social distancing. Social distancing is a small action that had huge results, and I was proud to see my fellow Raiders on social media spreading awareness to others by posting messages that placed the value of our community above themselves. This was not an easy task. We seniors lost some of the best months of our high school careers. Many of us did not have a last for the activities we've been working tirelessly at for the past 4 years. There was no closure as we left the building on March 13th because we did not know it was our last official day of school together. Regardless of the circumstances of our last 3 months of school, our overall experience from Rutland High School will influence our characters for the rest of our lives. I remember as a class learning from presentations in the Global Issues Network conference that taught us of some important problems that are not necessarily locally rooted. From that point, we had the opportunity to take the issues that were most important to us, and we created an entire curriculum around it in Capstone. The class allowed us to better our community through our self-directed action plans. Though Capstone was only an elective, there are many student posters in the hallway that show our class's dedication towards improving the world. Personally, my favorite day was when we took the bright yellow school bus up to Pico Mountain with multiple sports teams and gym classes to volunteer with Unified Sports at the Vermont Winter Games. The day was warm despite the cold weather as we made new friendships and helped those special needs students from around the state compete in winter activities. It is also worth mentioning that our entire school cheered on Rutland High School's Unified Sports athletes as they received national recognition for their team. Good sportsmanship and a willingness to learn about others are qualities that reflect our school's true values as Rutland Raiders. Rutland High School fostered a unique environment that allowed us to explore issues and ideas that were greater than ourselves. The school's mission statement, curriculum, and exposure to new opportunities helped us become more understanding people and will allow us to carry integrity forward as we soon make our own paths in life. Thank you, class of 2020. I know that we will make Rutland High School proud as we set out for the next part of our lives.
Good evening. I'm Hunter Postemski, and I'm proud to welcome our second speaker of the night, Matt Creed. Matt excelled in the classroom as a member of both the National Honor Society and Sociedad Honoraria Hispanica, and as our class treasurer. I've been lucky to have him as a teammate on the football field for the last 6 years, where Matt was a team captain and Shrine Bowl player, and WPI will be even luckier to have him as a player and student for the next 4. Even with all that, Matt is much more than the sum of his achievements. He is a man of great character and someone I'm glad to call a friend. Please welcome Matt Creed.
Welcome faculty, students, administration, friends, family, and younger siblings playing Madden on their phones right now to the class of 2020's graduation ceremony. As I stand here speaking to you tonight, I can't help but imagine the smiling faces of my peers, each one of them excited to graduate high school while also blissfully unaware of the high-interest student loans to come that we'll all be paying well into our 60s. Now, before I begin the crux of my speech, I would like to give a few thanks. First, thank you to Quizlet for giving us everything we needed for those online Spanish tests. Next, thank you to Wikipedia for acting as that perfect starting point. And finally, and most importantly, I would like to thank every one of our teachers, administrators, faculty, staff, coaches, and guidance counselors for all of the work they have put in to get us to where we are today, graduating together as the Rutland High School class of 2020. Now that that has been said, I can stand here and say with great pleasure that we all, for the final day, are seniors. Now, I could get all sentimental and say that it seemed just like yesterday we were all walking through those doors as hormone-enraged freshmen, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to take us back through a trip of our time in high school, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, without further ado, let's go. We start with freshman year, the year where fidget spinners were literally everywhere, and when creepy killer clowns were stalking the woods. We had all just walked into this high school, and in seconds, we were all trying to find our groups, reaching to find our people that would become lifelong friends. Whether it was through sports, the arts, or just having classes together, we all grew into one big, dysfunctionally happy family. And then, sophomore year came around. We were all happy and optimistic to be coming back to school for another year, only to be slapped in the face by a chemistry class that slowly crushes your soul. However, some good had been done by the end of our second year here. In just 2 years, Rutland High School's athletic teams had won 6 Vermont state championships. Now, I'm not saying that we all played on those teams, but I can say that our amazing student section may have had a little something to do with it. While on the subject of sports, during our junior year, we were able to see the Rutland Unified Sports Team become a National Unified Champion program, just one of the many high marks of this school during our time here. During this penultimate year, while we all began to forge our own paths, we became, some would say, overstressed about our classes. Likewise, we lost so many crucial Saturdays that year to taking the SATs and ACTs, and we took them the real way, not the Lori Laughlin way. And then, all of a sudden, our senior year was here. We were making TikToks in the hallways while simultaneously thinking of ways to shield ourselves from the coronavirus. It was during this year that we all picked out the schools that we wanted to impress with the grades we had stressed over. We discovered the trades you wanted to pursue, found the jobs you wanted to be hired for, and even chose to enlist in branches of our military. And just like that, our high school lives were over, seemingly all a blur. September had quickly rolled into the much-needed Thanksgiving break, and before we knew it, we all got the break, better known as the quarantine, that no one wanted. Yet, we remained steadfast, staring in the face of this new daunting challenge and coming together while staying apart when we needed it the most. Now, here we are, just a few minutes away from receiving our diplomas, imagining the smiles on our friends' faces as they hear their names called, with the world awaiting us at the end of this ceremony. The future is ours, and while that may seem like a cliche thing your parents will tell you, it is true. Some of us will be attending college, some will be working fellowships, while some are already working their lifetime job. The beauty of that is that there is no wrong decision in what you choose to do. You may not know what the future holds, but what you do know is this. You are leaving Rutland High School after the best 4 years of your life, and that soon, the days you spend here were those good old days that you will talk about for the rest of your life. I would like to leave you with a quick story. In March of this year, I went to a meeting for this year's Shrine Bowl football game. It was at this meeting where all of the attendees were introduced to Christina, a child ambassador of the Shriner Children's Hospital. Christina was born without her left arm, but she never let that slow her down. In fact, Christina's mother even said that she herself couldn't keep up with her. However, there was a reason for that. In the first grade, Christina told us that she would learn the worst word in her vocabulary, can't. She explained to us how can't is the worst word anyone can use because it cuts you down before you even have the chance to get up. So, in that spirit, I dare all of you to enter this next chapter of your lives, whatever path you may choose, with your whole hearts and never saying can't. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone. Tonight, I have the honor of introducing our esteemed guest speaker for this monumental occasion. Born in Brattleboro and raised in Rutland, Vermont, Stephanie Schaefer attended the Barstow Memorial School and graduated from the Rutland High School in 2014. During her time at RHS, she was an avid soccer athlete, loved English, and fondly remembers class with Mr. McDonough. After high school, Stephanie went on to pursue a degree in health promotion. In 2018, Stephanie was severely injured in a boat explosion and was faced with many challenges on the road to recovery. She embodies resilience and strength and continued to pursue her goals and make new ones while overcoming numerous obstacles. Stephanie graduated from Castleton University in 2019 with magna cum laude honors, which speaks to her perseverance in and out of the classroom. Now, she's chosen to use her story to inspire the world and give back to the community. Currently, Stephanie works as a professional speaker for local businesses, nonprofits, and organizations. Last year, she served as the ambassador for the Gift of Life Marathon, where she told her story and encouraged the community, resulting in the event's blood donation goal to be exceeded. She continues to seek ways to motivate others and do good. In the near future, Stephanie will become a published author upon the release of her novel, which details the incredible story of her survival. Stephanie is a role model for the Raider community, and we are honored to have her speaking here today. With that, it is my pleasure to introduce Ms. Stephanie Schaefer.
Hi everyone, and thank you so much for inviting me to be a part of such a special day. Although today looks different from other graduation days in the past, I hope you're all still feeling the excitement and the pride that every high school graduate so deserves to have. What we are celebrating today remains the same, whether we are all together in person or as we celebrate in this socially distant manner. We're here to celebrate your accomplishments, to celebrate your growth together as a high school class, and to most of all celebrate this day, as it marks the end of your high school careers and the beginning of the rest of your future. When I was first asked if I would speak to you all today, I began to think over which words might stay with you all past this one day, as you go throughout these next stages of life. Although it took me a while to truly understand how my story and experiences can inspire others, such as all of you, I hope my words and the lessons I have learned will remain with you as you move forward. Having the chance to speak with teachers and some of the students from this year's graduating class allowed me to get to know you all a little better. I quickly began to realize that this class is not only unique in so many wonderful ways, but that you also embody the qualities that make Rutland High so special. Qualities that come from the perfect combination of a school that is large enough to offer opportunities for everyone, no matter if it is sports, volunteer clubs, the performing arts, musical talents, debate teams, and so much more. Yet small enough for teachers to truly get to know you far better than by the grades they put on your papers. And I heard of the uniqueness of this class. The class of 2020, a class of vision, you told me with a smile. A class with stars ranging from boys and girls sports teams, the unified sports team gaining national recognition, speech and debate champions, and so much more. All in all, this class simply seems to be kind, something every parent, every student, and every teacher hopes for in each class. You all should be proud of this fact alone. And I also felt a kinship with your graduating class, because just like you have all seen your worlds change, and as you've had to miss out on opportunities that often make your senior years so special, you have all had to learn to adapt and to overcome. This rang true to my life as well. Just 2 years ago, on June 30th of 2018, my life forever changed in a way that was so drastic that in an instant, the future I had always pictured for myself vanished into thin air. Just as you all had to finish your high school careers, not in a classroom, but from your computers, I had to finish my college career, not in a classroom, but from a laptop that I carried with me to and from hospital rooms. For me, graduating this way felt like an uneventful end to something that I had worked so hard towards, until the moment came that I saw my diploma, and I realized all that I had accomplished. The same goes for all of you. The way that you receive your diploma or how your graduation is held does not make your accomplishments any less significant. It's clear that life has just thrown you a curveball, but today proves that you have stepped up to the plate. Over the past few years, I have learned that life is not about avoiding challenges, but rather it is about learning to adapt and to overcome them. Back in the year of 2018, I had one requirement standing between me and my college graduation. I needed to complete an internship. I was set to begin a position at the University of Vermont Medical Center, where I would work to assist families that had children in the hospital, ensuring they receive care of their own, so that their only focus can be on the recovery of their child. I spoke with the program coordinator, telling her I was going on a 1-week vacation to the Bahamas, and that I would happily take my first shift the following Monday. I was unaware of the drastic changes I would soon see in my life and of the unimaginable, countless challenges I would be forced to overcome. While on that vacation, we set out on a boat excursion, with plans to explore the island and all that it had to offer. But 5 minutes into our trip, our day suddenly took a turn for the worse. The boat had exploded in those ocean waters, leaving me fighting for my life. About a month after this, I woke up from a coma in a Florida hospital. I would then be told devastating news that introduced me to the world of disability and everyday challenge. At this point, I thought that my dreams and my plans for the future were now impossible. I couldn't see a way to achieve them while leaving us both an amputee and a paraplegic. When you have spent 154 days in the hospital, life outside of those walls feels unimaginable. I would soon see that not only were those dreams still possible, but that new doors and new opportunities would soon open. They would just take a lot of hard work. I won't try to downplay that these years have been the hardest of my life, both physically and emotionally. But I have also seen myself grow in more ways than I ever could have imagined. Because not only could I have never expected to find myself living with a disability, but I also never would have expected to see myself becoming a professional public speaker, when before all of this, something as simple as a class presentation had made me shake with fear. I never could have predicted to see myself becoming an American Red Cross ambassador, or that I would today be working on publishing my first novel. So when I was asking myself what I hope to pass along to all of you today, I not only thought back through these past years as I recovered from all of these injuries, but also back to who I was before all of this. And I asked myself one simple question. If I were one of these students, and it was my graduation day, what would it be that I would have needed to hear the most? To answer this question, I thought back to my graduating class, and I remembered how we all had a different plan for ourselves. Just as some of you will be going off to college, others might begin working right away, while others of you are still unsure. Each of these paths will lead to your own unique futures. So this is how I knew what I hoped to say. I'm not here to inspire a certain path for you, but instead, in hopes to inspire a mindset. A mindset where you are courageous enough to take all the opportunities that come your way, without fears or insecurities preventing you from taking a chance. A mindset where you step up to challenges rather than just giving up. Just as you have all shown that you can. Because when I sat where you are today, I did let these things stand in my way. I stayed in my comfort zone until I was forced out of it. I let opportunities pass me by from fear and self-doubt. And I have seen my life become beautiful again in the face of hardship and disability simply because of a changed mindset. In one of my very first speeches, I wrote these words that I want to share with you all today. I truly believe that challenges, no matter how hard or even devastating they might feel, are what will make us who we are. We might wish that we could get through life without them, but then how could we ever grow to the potential that we have inside of us? How could we ever come to know the strength we have without being forced to use it? My goal here today is that you carry these words with you, that you challenge yourselves from this day on. Challenge yourselves to be better, to take chances that might lead to a life you had never even imagined for yourself. Challenge yourself to be brave and to no longer look at failure as a time to give up, but rather as a time to improve and try once more. This year, you have grown and you have adapted to unexpected obstacles. You accepted news that felt disheartening and disappointing, and you made the very best of a hard situation. Remember this. Remember the pride that you feel today, because sometimes accomplishments only feel sweeter when they didn't come easy. Take this with you and watch as you succeed in your next steps. Congratulations, 2020. You've done it, and you've done it well.
Before I officially certify these wonderful graduates, I'd like to say a few personal words to the class of 2020. But first, in your honor, Raider Red cowboy boots. I'm Dave Walk. I've been your superintendent this past year. I know some of you, but not all of you. I've appreciated your unsolicited advice on when I should call snow days. I've also felt your pain. This has been really, really challenging for all of you, and I'm really sorry about that. I'm graduating with you today, but the good news, at least for me, is that, like you, I get to come back for an in-person graduation, whenever that is, in part because I will be among the 50-year Rutland High graduates who graduate with you. It's kind of like coming full circle with all of you. I don't remember that much about my Rutland High graduation. You will. You'll also remember the inspiring words from your speakers and also from Steph Schaefer. You'll remember this surreal, new abnormal that we all lived in back in 2020. You have that bond with each other, and you always will. And at future class reunions, you'll have a lot to reminisce about. You'll do it together, because your class will always be together. You've been really lucky to have the faculty and staff and the leaders at RHS in your corner. These folks always have your back, and they do now too. You know, it's really heartwarming for me that Principal Bill Olson will succeed me as superintendent, and that Associate Principal Greg Schillinger will succeed Mr. Olson as Rutland High principal. The school district is in really good hands with these wonderful educators. Mr. Olson becoming superintendent after me is what I would call, and many other people would call, a big upgrade. He is awesome. I was principal in this school in its last year at the former Rutland High and in its first year in this location where we are today. Then I became superintendent after that, sort of full circle all over again. Now I will read to you the official recognition to you as certified Rutland High School graduates. It occurred to me as I read it that I actually wrote it 26 years ago. Congratulations to all of you. To all those here assembled, I hereby certify to you with utmost confidence and respect that these candidates assembled before you have successfully completed the requirements for graduation from Rutland High School. They have worked hard, they have overcome many challenges to earn the diplomas that they receive today. They are the product of our dedicated faculty and their very proud and supportive parents. I respectfully present to you the Rutland High School class of 2020.
On behalf of the Rutland City Board of School Commissioners, I would like to offer congratulations for all that you have accomplished in your time at Rutland High School. This has been a challenging year in many ways, and is certainly not ending the way that anyone envisioned. Opportunities for growth and learning often present themselves as challenges. Always keep learning. As I virtually hand off the diplomas, know that I admire your perseverance and am proud of your accomplishments. Stay strong, spread kindness, and best of luck in your future endeavors. Congratulations, RHS Class of 2020.
Matthew Robert Creed, Rosanna Alexis Hyde, Robert Hunter Postemski, Maya Pearl Sobel, Madison Marie Abatel, Ashley Meadow Adams, Victoria Shea Alanovi, Stephanie Rochelle Allen, Monica Ann Andrews, Vincent M. Arbuzo, Serafina Michelle Aria, Jasmine M. Baker, Thomas Charles Bales, Evan Austin Barker, Betty Lou Bell, Harry Anthony Bell, Savannah Rose Bergevin, Riley N. Bertrand, Taylor Ann Bissett, Thea Majestic Boardman, Elise Catherine Bouchard, Anna Jean Bauer, Nicole Elizabeth Boyer, Eric Douglas Brewer, Meredith L. Brown, Kobe Joseph Bryant, Riley Steele Burgess, Peyton S. Boussard, Lauren Elizabeth Calvin, Willem Gerard Cabot Camp, Aaron Lane Chetton, Andrew Amilcar Chacon, Mariah Marie Chamberlain, Travis Wellington Churchill, Ethan Anthony Corse, Austin Edward Colburn, Caroline Grace Galudi, McKenna Ashley Colton, Mattingly E. Colvin, Lucas Comas Altman, Brendan Thomas Conway, Jillian Elizabeth Conway, Lexi Jean Corey, Lucas James Cornell, Kenneth J. Coutant, Alexis Victoria Cross, Abigail Eva Daniels, Garrett James Davin, Jessica R. Dean, Kyle Richard Del Bianco, Michael Austin Devono, Logan Shea Dykeman, Jagger W. Drake, Liam Patrick Doobie Johnson, Emma Layton Duffy, Catherine Rose Dufresne, Tyler Philip Dunbar, Nicholas H. Dupree, Noah A. Durkee, Andrew R. Ebighausen, Sidney Erickson Marati, Francis Joseph Ittori, Athena Camilla Huber, Ryan Patrick Farrington, Ethan Maynard Ferguson, Jordan May Figueroa, Ashley M. Fitzgerald, Abby Ray Fleming, John Christopher Foley, Summer M. Folsom, Dakota C. E. Ford, Henry Elam Charles French, Destiny Marion Galati, Alexandria Marie Gauthier, George Joseph Gaidas, Elijah Thomas Gilman, Kathleen Renee Gilman, Julia M. Greenfield, Sebastian Matthew Guyette, Ian Michael Halliday, Juan Yao Crystal Han, Hannah Rose Hansen, Emily Ann Hathaway, Caitlin Elizabeth Hawkins, Jordan Haywood, Dylan James Heilner, William Edward Hemingway, Malik W. Hendrickson, Noah Emil Howe, Charles Edward Hubble, Allison Marie Jerome, Sophia Anna Johnston, Ariana Mackenzie Kelly, Allison Elizabeth King, Norman C. King, Logan Elizabeth Kinsman, Caitlin Christine Knapp, Ashlyn M. Kozmowski, Kaylee Ann Kozmowski, Kale Ian Kaiser, Amy Lynn Lacrosse, Joseph L. Lafarge, Olivia Elizabeth Lepre, Haley Alexis Lassen, Kian M. Laval, Damon L. Layton, Stella Rebecca Lilly, Trevor Alexander McKay, Laura Catherine McPherson, Jesus Makar Messinas Stepanenko, Madeline Grace Marshall, Erin Catherine McClellan, Amy Eileen McGee, Finian Owen McGinnis, Cariana Marie McLaurin, Ryan M. McLaughlin, Paige Marie McPhee, Erica Lynn Mead, Evan M. Mead, Agatha Manconi, Tanner Michael Merrill, Wyatt Hayes Merrill, Hannah Mary Lynn Messer, Joan Lombardi Miles, John Robert Miles, Mesa Cahill Moore, Joel W. Muscatello, Ashley Rose Naselli, Alan E. Naiman, Matthew Thomas Noel, Leslie Ruth Novak, Megan Elizabeth O'Connor, Sean Richard Olson, Chad Emery Pack, Madeline Cora Page, Seisha Lee Palmer, Connor Edward Parker, Olivia Christine Patrick, Austin David Peck, Caitlin Isabel Pelkey, Catherine Elizabeth Perry, Owen Thomas Perry, Emma Mattia Pills, Aidan Jeffrey Pitts, Nicholas Michael Posabat, Senan C. Hall, Anderson Brigham Puro, Luke Michael Ragosta, Grace Anne Marie Raymond, Karan A. Richardson, Diamanta L'Oreal Rideout, Alex K. Ritter, Liam Patrick Ritter, Abigail Rose Robertson, Ezra Michael Robichaud, Lisa M. Rouquelet, Dylan T. Roussel, Lauren Ann Sampson, Madison Lee Santos, Ethan David Schmidt, Morgan Judith Seward, Lance Jordan Schaefer, Reese Johnson Shattuck, Megan Catherine Smith, Cole Harding Spooner, Cody Ryan Stevens, Alexander Earl Stute, Kathleen Amy Sunderland, Taylor Mackenzie Scherthing, Sophia Martina Tedesco, Sveja Lenzar Teachman, Colby Jared Thornton, Samantha Nicole Townsend, Tyler P. Tupker, Natasha Marie Tuliper, Lacey Evelyn Valenti, Michael P. Venturella, Brianna Lynn Vincent, Isaac James Voisin, Robert Joseph Warner, Jade Isabel Weinberg, Cody Scott Whittemore, Matthew Daniel Wilder, Christopher Thomas Wilk, Phoebe Margot Wood, Michelle M. Wu, Leah Grace Smirko.
You may now flip your tassels from right to left. Congratulations!
Farewell, Raiders!